Hi YouTubers, how you doing? This video is going to be kind of free flow. I don't know which direction I'm going to go, but I'm going to go places with this. First of all, me. Just got out of the shower. I'm wetter than a New Jersey flood, I think, but we'll see how this goes. Put on the goggles. Give me a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a-going home. My baby, she wrote me a letter. That's about as far as I'll go with that. And that's the theme of this, to start this one off. The singer of that song, Alex Chilton, passed away yesterday, unfortunately. Alex was 59 years old. He was in the Box Tops back in 1967. This is a copy of the Box Tops' greatest hits. Best of the Box Tops. That's one of their albums. This is their second album, Cry Like a Baby. And the Box Tops had several really good hits in the 1960s. Then after the Box Tops split up, Alex went solo for a bit. And then he started a band called Big Star. I don't have any Big Star vinyl, but I have the CD of their first two albums. The first album had a big star on it. It was like that. The second album was called Number One Record. And the second album had a song called September Girls. September Girls was also a bit of a hit for the Bangles. Bangles, one of the great 80s bands of all time, I think. Just super group. Big Star, Alex went out as Big Star again in the 1990s, and he had members of the Posies with him. I think it was John Auer and Ken Stringfellow. This is from a live concert that in Missouri, 1993. And they gave you a VIP pass, which was pretty cool. That actually came in the CD. I don't know if you can see that very well. Now, of course, the letter was recorded by many people, including Joe Cocker, the Mad Dogs, the Englishman, and Joe Cocker. It was also recorded by the Arbors. And the Arbors were kind of like the Letterman or something. They were a vocal group, four freshmen type thing. This is a really excellent album. They do covers of The Letter. What was the other one on here? Ooh, Touch Me by The Doors. Fantastic version of that. Good Day Sunshine, Like a Rolling Stone. This is a great album. Now, the second person that passed away yesterday, unfortunately, was a fellow by the name of Charlie Gillett. And back in the 1970s, when I first started collecting records, and I was working in the record business back in the 1970s, say around 1973, 74, there weren't a lot of rock books in the marketplace. Nothing like what you see today. Today they have whole sections of them in bookstores. And Charlie Gillett, or Gillett, pronounced it Gillett I think, he's a British writer. He wrote two excellent books that came out in the 1970s. The first was called The Sound of the City. And this details the early history of rock and roll, 1950s and 1960s. Especially featuring the early record labels and the R&B groups, doo-wop groups, people like that. This is just an excellent book, essential book. I'll read in the back of this, it's kind of funny. It says, for this edition of The Sound of the City, and this is the 1978 edition, the author has carefully rechecked all of his factual material and has added notes and made corrections where necessary. So the fact that he's checked his facts twice, 3 times, that makes me really confident that he's written a good book. This is Making Tracks, The History of Atlantic Records by Charlie Gillett. This was written in 1975, and it's the first really good history of Atlantic Records, the early R&B of the United States, and of course Stax Records. Led Zeppelin's in here. Of course they were on Atlantic. And this is an excellent book as well. And Charlie Gillett was a writer in Britain, and also I think on the BBC, did a bit of radio. Here's another book. This isn't a Charlie Gillett book, but it's a book that's similar in theme to Charlie's books. It's called Big Beat Heat, and it's about Alan Freed, and it's quite a thick book. Excellent book, and I highly recommend this. It really focuses on Alan Freed's time in New York City, Cleveland. I think he was in Akron, Ohio for a while too. So the early days of rock and roll up until the time of his untimely death in, I think it was around 1965 or so. Highly recommend that one. And what else do I have? Just one more thing. I was in a second-hand store today and I found something that just kind of blew me away. A John Coltrane album. I've never found a John Coltrane album in a charity shop or anything like that, but today I did. This is Ascension from 1965. It's on Impulse. It has people on it like, let's see, Freddie Hubbard, Elvin Jones on drums, McCoy Tyner on piano. And this is not an original pressing from the 1960s, unfortunately. It's a GRT of Canada reissue from the 1970s. GRT went out of business in 1979, so it is a 70s pressing. Thank you for watching.